Coach. We'll go ahead and just start with the statement and then open it up to questions.
Well, just like everyone else on my team, very disappointed that we lost. But I'm not disappointed at the fight that these guys have shown the entire year, obviously leading up to this tournament. Give Syracuse a lot of credit. We played against a good basketball team that makes a lot of shots. And as we talked about, I told those guys, if you're playing against anybody, it's hard to beat a team, especially when they make 14 threes. And we have 7 guys that's playing, and we have such a small room for error. And if we don't have 1 or 2 of our main guys play well, then it puts us in a tough situation to win the game. And I thought in the first half, the guys who played well were Braxton, Manny Bates, and Sebron. We had some other guys who played well in the second half, but, we dug ourselves in a hole. We had some untimely turnovers. Our young guys had a chance for the first time to experience, postseason play in the ACC. They'll learn from the good that they did in the game and obviously the bad. But I'm proud of these guys. It's hard for me to get mad at a bunch of guys because of one game in the ACC tournament with the way they played it and the way they've responded to me the entire year, especially with all of the adversity that we've had. So I'll take questions.
Justin?
Coach, it seemed like all things considered, being down 5 at halftime was a pretty good spot for you guys. What did you tell your team at halftime, and what do you think led to the Syracuse run at the beginning of the second half?
We talked about, how hard we scrapped. I thought in the first half they completely outplayed us for 13 minutes, and the 7 minutes left in the half, we kind of turned things around. And we talked about, defending Buddy Boeheim. He was really, really good. He did a tremendous job, especially in the first half. And I thought that was the difference in the reason why they had a lead, even by 5. Second half, I thought we came out of the locker room with a lot of energy, but we had 2 bad turnovers at the beginning of the second half, and never really, we kind of played catch up from that point. Never really got a flow of the game. I think the first media, they had scored 14 points and we had scored 4 of the second half, and that's not a good formula. And so, give them credit. These guys made shots, man. They were a good team. They would have beat a lot of people today, and unfortunately, we were the team that they had to play against.
And Coach, as a big picture follow-up, I know the margin for error was very slim for an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament, but if you were to get a bid to the NIT, is that something that you guys would accept?
That would be something that we would talk about. I have no idea, Justin, even how that works these days. I don't know if it's an invite tournament. I don't know how it works. I do know that there are going to be 16 teams. I have no, I will tell you this: whatever we decide to do, it will be in the best interest of our team moving forward. Safety protocols. What it looks like. Is it an invite tournament? Is it? I don't know how it works. And so I hate to think about that, but certainly that's a good question to ask.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, go ahead.
Kevin, did you guys lose some of your mojo by not playing Virginia Tech, or was Syracuse just a bad matchup for you guys?
Brett, I don't know if we lost mojo, but it's a tough team to play against for us with their zone losing Devin Daniels and Thomas Allen. If you look at the last game that we played, Thomas Allen scored and made some shots behind the 3-point line. Our really legitimate 3-point shooters, Braxton, Beverly, and everybody else is good shooters, capable of making shots. And so most zones is not as good as theirs. They play zone for as many years as he's been at Syracuse, and they do a great job. And so the mojo part, I don't think so. I do think the fact that obviously, we had to play against his zone for 40 minutes. It's a tough situation for us.
How about defensively? Because you really kind of struggled to stop them, especially from the perimeter. And you guys had some problems with them, at least the meeting in Raleigh as well.
Yeah, when you go back, Brett, and you look at it, and I'll go back and do the same thing, we certainly had some breakdowns. But they made some tough shots. I mean, 2 or 3 of them were when the shot clock went down. Buddy Boeheim was just raising up, making shots. And, give that kid credit. I thought when I looked at the first team, second team, and third team, I didn't know if he was going to make him. But certainly no one picked him as honorable mention. And I'm sure that kid played with a little juice and energy because of that. And, he's a number 6 scorer in this league and didn't get on the all honorable mention team. And so give him credit. Brett, I told the team before the game, these guys take tough shots and they make tough shots. And they did today.
Thanks, Kevin.
Lawrence?
Hey, Coach, great game. I know tonight was a little disappointing, but the last 5 games, you guys have been solid and on a roll. So not thinking about the experts, do you guys feel like you've done enough to get that at-large bid? Or
Yeah, Lawrence, I have no idea how the committee will look at things this year. I will say this, in my opinion, I think we got the best win in the league. We were able to go on the road and beat the number 1 seed at their place. Now, as you guys know, committees do exactly whatever they want to do. They'll look at all the numbers. I have no idea. I couldn't even begin to tell you. I couldn't begin to guess on that. I will say this. I hope, this year or the near future that everybody start recognizing that how good of a league the ACC is, because my 4th year here, very rarely have we got at least 50% of our teams in. And that's tough because I think we were doing that before we went to a 15-team league, and right now we haven't. And so it's a lot of teams out here that's deserving to go. And if we're fortunate enough to get selected, we'll go. If not, then we'll figure everything else out.
James?
Hey, Kevin, I know you really stress limiting the attempts from the three-point line of the other team. And I think the first 2 matchups, they had less than 20, 29 today. Was it something you saw that led to that high increase for them this game relative to the first 2?
James, I just think they got hot. I mean, I'm sure you guys were looking at the game, and we had some breakdowns, as I talked about, but they made some really tough shots. But the crazy thing, that's not anything that's surprising. And once you see the ball go in the hole as guys who can make shots, they're going to continue to take those shots. And, we fouled a 3-point shooter. A couple times we were there on the catch and they made shots. It was just their night. And I told you 14 threes is a lot, and it's hard to overcome that.
Eddie?
Kevin, your team was here to play basketball this week, but National Guardsmen were staying in the hotel that you guys were at to help with the max vaccination site across the parking lot. And when you got to the Coliseum, some people were coming here for basketball, some were coming to get vaccines. What perspective have you found in this environment this week, and certainly looking back to where we were a year ago at this time?
Eddie, I'm proud of all of the National Guard, and I got a chance to see it a different way because I walked around the mall, probably did about 10 laps around the mall, just obviously trying to get some exercise. And the operation that they were running was unbelievable. They did a tremendous job of vaccinating as many people as they could get through. The perspective is pretty simple. We're moving in the right direction. I am even glad, this year last year after we played our first game, we didn't get an opportunity to play our second one. But I think the way we've responded as a country and trying to get as many people vaccinated as we can with the National Guard and everybody, the frontline helpers, that's been tremendous. And, we compete as basketball teams as we should. But I think right now you're seeing a group of Americans who are coming together to make sure that we help everything get back to normal. And I'm proud of that, and I'll continue to be proud of that. I've done some, a couple of videos to send out and talking about what's important about getting the vaccine, and I'll continue to do that because I want things to get back normal.
Thank you.
Corey?
Kevin, you mentioned earlier, the fact that you guys were able to finish the season strong and finish with those 5 straight wins. When you look back at this end of the season, obviously this game is, kind of a bad footnote on it all, but how proud are you of your team for developing and getting to the point where they've been over his last several games?
Corey, I don't, even this game we lost, I'm not going to take away from the effort that these kids have given me, over the last month or so, and really over the entire year. We had just about as much adversity as anybody else could have had. we may not have even been in this situation. If these guys would have put their head down, we would have played a game yesterday and probably would have lost the game yesterday, but we didn't. And so I'm happy with them. I told them, Corey, after the game, I'm not going to define your season because of this game. I'm going to define your season, how hard you work with the adversity, turning things around, and told everybody I love them and I'm proud of them, and I am. We win together, we lose together, and that's our entire staff and our players. And we're building. Our young guys got so much unbelievable experience, and I wanted our seniors, guys like Braxton, Beverly, and DJ Funderburk, if this was their last ACC tournament, I wanted those guys to experience it, and I'm happy that they did.
And I know we talked a little bit about the NIT, but if you did get a shot at that, how much would that be able to help in terms of continuing that development and giving those seniors an opportunity to play one more game?
Well, I think it's great. We would have to find out a lot more information about it. I don't want our kids to have just an experience to say we're going to a postseason play if it's not a first-class experience. And so, as you guys know, I would love the opportunity to play in the NCAA and not have to talk about the NIT. But if the NIT is ran the way it has been in the past, and it's a first-class experience for our guys, I think it's a great thing. But if it's not, I just don't want to go to a tournament just to say we're going.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right, we'll take one last question from Jonas.
Coach, right as your team was walking on the floor, your last message to them, you looked at your guys and you say, energy, energy. I think at the first media time I was 9-8. You guys were playing with a lot of that energy. At what point did you kind of feel the shift that Syracuse had kept to their step a little bit more energy, and they went on that run?
I don't think the energy necessarily, Jonas, changed. We just had some guys that didn't play well. And when you're playing 7 guys and you get, like I told you before, we got to have out of the 7, we got to have at least 4 guys that play really good basketball to put us in a great situation to win. And I'm sure when you look at the stat sheet, you're going to be like, yeah, he didn't play well, or he didn't play well, and this guy played well. And so I thought we always played hard. We didn't always play smart. But, when you're down to a limited roster, you have to have everything clicking for at least 4 out of the 5 guys that you have.
All right, that's it. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
We'll have hi, Braxton. Thanks for joining us. We'll go ahead and start with Lawrence.
Hey, rough night tonight, but you did hit your 1,000-point mark. So can you talk a little bit about what that means to you personally?
It's been a whole lot better if we got to win with it. It's really cool to. It's really a blessing and an honor to have my name in that kind of category at a university like this and a program like this. So yeah, I'll be more excited about it, a little down the road. Right now, it just hurts a little more, but it's still an honor though, a big honor.
Brett.
What has made Syracuse such a difficult matchup for you guys this season?
Oh, them guys can get hot from behind the line. When you got people like Buddy and Gerard and Griffin that can they take a lot of tough shots and they hit a lot of tough shots. And it just seemed like they were able to do that against us. I don't really know why it was our matchup, but they just, like I said, they just seem to get hot quick and in a hurry. They would hit a lot of shots.
And because this is a 0 eligibility year, you have the option to come back if you want. Have you given that any thought? And what kind of plans do you have?
I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna talk to the coaching staff. Well, now I know it's been floating around throughout the year, and it's definitely something I've considered. But that'll, I don't really know. I haven't really thought about it too much. I wanted to put that on after season thought. So we'll see what happens.
Thanks a lot, Braxton. And if this is it, thanks for the last 4 years. We appreciate it.
I appreciate that.
Justin.
Braxton, you were shooting the ball really well in the first half, and it seemed like all things considered, you guys were in a good spot, down just 5 at halftime. What did Coach tell you guys in the locker room, and what do you think led to Syracuse's run at the beginning of the second half?
The biggest message in the locker room was to start the second half like we ended the first half. We kind of started slow. They had more energy and a little more effort than we did to start the game. But the last probably 7-8 minutes of the first half, we picked it up. And, we came back and we had a little run going, had a rhythm. And then the second half, it's like they hit like maybe two straight open shots or something like that. It kind of they were seeing a big basket after that.
And being a senior at the ACC tournament, this could be your last ACC tournament. Could you just describe the emotions walking off the floor?
Yeah, it was I don't know, it was I got a lot of emotions going on right now. It's just like a mixture of a dream come true, but also like heartache. Of course, I couldn't be any more thankful that I've gotten to play in the ACC tournament for 4 years. But I think anybody in this program will tell you that I'm a competitor, and I want to win first and foremost. So it was hard. It really kind of started to sink in probably the last minute of the game when I was on the court. That's when it really started to hit hard.
Thank you, Braxton.
Appreciate it.
James?
Yeah, Braxton, I think you're NC State's first 4-time all ACC academic team member. What does that mean to you? And also, how close are you to getting your degree?
Actually, tomorrow is my last day of classes, so I have like 2 things I gotta, just finish up and get turned in, and I'll be done completely. So it's pretty crazy to think that I'm about graduated with college. Of course, that's more credit to my mom. Definitely, she's one pushed me in the classroom the most. She always. She never really cared about the court too much. It was, getting your degree, working hard in the classroom, always have something to always fall back on. So she gets the most credit for that. Yeah, it's crazy how that time's here now.
And just to follow up on the game, obviously Boeheim got going, but they had 4 other guys hit 2. As a shooter, do you think you get extra aggressive if you see your main guy really get going? Maybe the other guys fed off of that for them?
Yeah, I think they definitely did. A shooter like Buddy Boeheim, he is contagious. And I mean, it can even be contagious for the other team sometimes. I mean, it's just, it's how good of a shooter he is. So definitely seeing, like him being their main guy, seeing him hit, 2 or 3 shots and just seeing the energy that he had is definitely going to feed off on him. And I think that's definitely a big part in what, had the big part in their success today.
Thank you.
Eddie?
Braxton, congratulations on what you've achieved in basketball, but certainly for the degree. You guys were here to play a game this week, but across the parking lot from your hotel, there's a mass vaccination site set up. When you get to the Coliseum, there are people coming to see basketball, but there are also people coming to get vaccines. What's your perspective on what that environment has been like this week, kind of given where we were a year ago at this time?
Yes, it's a really different, really different environment. Somebody actually asked me this morning how it felt compared to last year, how I thought, and it was, it still had the same jittery ACC tournament feel, but, without all the fans being here and, the different protocols that you have now that, we're, I know we're a year in, but, you're not necessarily used to them yet. It's been different, all the different checkpoints and the testing and, you can't really just be out, hanging out with, guys on your team or, guys on the other team or whatnot. You got to stay separated, which is, that takes a little bit away from the experience as well. So it's definitely been a different one and one to remember for years to come.
Thank you.
Andrew Crane?
Hey, Braxton, it looks like Syracuse was able to use a lot of pick and roll to really open up their offense. Is that something you guys were expecting them to rely on a lot coming in, and how did you have to adjust defensively?
Yeah, we at first we were, we weren't switching like we, normally we switch 1 through 4. We were coming in to decide not to switch 1 through 4 and just switch 1 through 3. And then as the game went on, we tried to trickle it in more to get back to switching 1 through 4. Once they were able to find a couple open a couple openings that we weren't really too happy about. But yeah, they utilized the ball screens a little. It seemed like a little more and a little better than they did in the first 2 meetings that we had against them.
Andrew Snedeker.
Braxton, obviously this season doesn't end the way that you guys wanted, but how exciting do you think it is for the future of this program, the way that the freshman guards played down the stretch and the experience that they've gotten this year?
I'm extremely excited for, coach, the coaching staff, the players, the fans. I mean, everybody got to see there's a lot of talent on the team, a lot of young talent. As much playing time that, Cam, Shaq, DB, them three especially, got to play this year and got to see what it's really like at this level in this world. It's going to be great for you, for their tenure here. They're extremely talented, players, and not only that, they're smart, and they've accepted the role of learning this year. Coming out of high school, they were the guys, and it don't matter how good you are, it's just hard to do that at this level. It's hard to just be the guy, coming especially as a freshman. So it's been really good to see them, understand that there's stuff to learn, that they got to learn, and they got to make sure they take each day to grow as a player. So I'm really excited for them.
All right, that's it. Thank you, Braxton.
Thank you all.
Hi, DJ. Thanks for joining us. We'll go ahead and start if you're ready. We'll go with James.
Hey, DJ, you guys came into this game shooting really well from the field the last few games and kind of struggled a little bit around the rim tonight. Was it their defense? Was it just a real physical game? What do you think led to that?
I think it was a mixture of both. But on the most part, it was just us. We didn't hit shots. We was flustered by the defense, and the turnovers carried over to us thinking about it later on in the game and different possessions, and I feel like that factored too.
Justin?
DJ, it seemed like you guys were in a pretty good place at halftime, down just 5, considering all things that happened in the first half. But what did Coach tell you guys at halftime in the locker room, and what do you think led to that Syracuse run to begin the second half?
We wanted to focus on our energy, and other than that, contain Boeheim. He had 20 going into the half, and he ended up with 27. So I feel like we did what we were supposed to as far as containing him. But we let everybody else start to, find their shot, and they was just, they was just one unit as a team today. So.
Corey?
DJ, obviously, as a senior this year, you do have the opportunity to come back next year. But if this is your last game at NC State, what has this program meant to you?
It's meant a lot. They've been there for me. When I was in the wrong, when I was down, my highs and my lows. So it definitely meant a lot to me off the court more so than on the court. And I'll cherish it. With my decision later on after the season.
Andrew Snedeker?
DJ, how exciting do you think the future is for this program with the way that some of these young players, especially the young guards, have played and gotten some experience down the stretch here?
I think it's going to be very exciting to see, in the upcoming years, what these guys develop into. Right now, they're super excited to keep playing. It's an exciting group of freshmen right now and freshmen coming in next year. And, I'm just looking forward to, watching them gel as a team and see what they can offer next year.
Andrew Crane?
DJ, it looked like Syracuse was able to really utilize ball screens and pick and roll to open up their offense. I guess, what did you see from them using that, and how did you and your teammates have to adjust defensively?
All right, so how can I put it? All right, so, a couple of times down the court, they would do like a naked ball screen or something. Obviously, there's no help on the naked side. So they might have a decent shooter in that ball screen, but somebody else is creeping out and getting away from the guy that would help off of their man to on the naked ball screen, and they just left them open. Like For instance, it was a play, Braswell had just hit 2 on me. So I lifted up and Dolage got a naked ball screen and they gave it to him and there was no help side. Just stuff like that. They were just a smart team today and we weren't together on the defensive side all 40 minutes.
Thank you.
Brett?
DJ, they beat you all 3 times that you played them. Why was Syracuse such a difficult matchup for you guys?
Probably the zone. That's all I can really put it to is the zone, and we let them beat us from the 3-point line. I could say honestly, in the games today, maybe all 3 games, they probably had like 10 layups total against us. Majority of their points is from the free throw line and from the 3-point line, and for the next team to play them, I just hope they cover the 3-point line and make sure they stay together as a team.
All right, it looks like that was it. Thank you, DJ.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.